Batcat and I welcome you to another episode of All That Craft. On today's episode, I'm going to be trying to make these sort of cool looking, fully edible DIY jello gummy eyeballs. If you're watching this video, you probably already know what you're going to use it for, so I'm not going to waste any time telling you what to do with it. Without any further ado, let's go make some balls. Eyeballs. Let me start off by saying that these instructions are like a motherload of doo-doo. These are some of the things that I used and they are a little different from the suggested recipe. So the instructions say to use plain gelatin with some cherry juice. Cherry juice because I assume that's how they're getting their red color. But why the F not just use red jello? So screw that, I'm using strawberry jello with fruit punch. Next, the instructions say to let it sit for 5 minutes. Why, you ask? I have no freaking clue. But well, what the hell do I know? Okay, I came back to it 5 minutes later, and next I need to add a quarter cup of boiling water to it and stir it till it completely dissolves. Next, drop a blueberry in each of the molds. Next, the instructions say to take a straw and cover the bottom of the blueberry with the jello mixture. I had an eyedropper, so I'm going to use that instead because it's just easier. One thing to note is to put a little less red jello than I did because I put too much and the irises of my eye were a little bigger than they need to be. So funny story. You see how the instructions say to use a straw to pick up a few drops of mixture and put a little into the bottom of the ice mold? And in the second line it says cover the blueberries with about a teaspoon of gelatin. I took that to mean two different things and covered the blueberries with a teaspoon of actual gelatin. Are the instructions misleading or am I just a dingbat? Anywho, don't do this. It caused the two layers to break apart. While the irises of the eye are setting, we're going to work on the white part of the eye. The recipe says to mix 2 packets of unflavored plain gelatin with half cup of coconut milk. Coconut milk to give it its white color, I assume. Let me tell you, it didn't do much for the taste. And 1 tablespoon of regular sugar. Now let's start mixing. They said to mix it and let it sit for 5 minutes. But this goopy mess happened, so I said if I let it sit any longer, it's going to get thicker. So I started to move on with the process. I took a cup of boiling hot water and I tried to attempt to break out all the lumps in this goopy mess. It took a little while and a little effort, but I finally managed to do it. I then pulled out my irises that were setting in the fridge and I started to fill them up with the white coconut milk unflavored jello mixture that we made using a spoon and put the lid back on when it was done. Using an ink dropper, I filled the mold up all the way. This was the most annoying and tedious part of the project. Filling the molds with such a thick, goopy mixture through a small eyedropper was extremely challenging. But hey, I did it anyway, because there's no cry in DIY. I stuck it in the fridge for about 3 hours and now we're ready to see what it looks like. Okay, pulling out the first one, nice and easy. Hey, not bad. I think it looks pretty cool. Okay, let's try a red one. Nice and easy. Not too shabby. And this, you guys, is what my final product looked like. They look pretty cool, but for the time and effort invested, I was hoping they would hold up better. The powdered plain jello I sprinkled between the irises and the white part of the eye made the 2 layers come apart on many of the eyeballs. And that's just my fault. I could potentially skip this step and try it again, but on this take, I think I'm giving it a 5 on 10. So there you have it, fully edible DIY jello eyeballs. Do they look cool? Is it worth your time and effort? Probably not. I spent around $6 for the ice cube tray, about $3 or $4 for the jello, about $3 for the blueberries, $2 for the coconut milk, and about 2 or 3 hours worth of my time trying not to fudge it up. In conclusion, go buy yourself some gummy eyeball candy from Amazon, eBay, Party City, wherever. They cost about the same, they look about as cool if not cooler, and you won't have somebody yelling at you for making a goddamn mess in the kitchen. Alright guys, that's it. That's my video for today. If you liked it, Batcat says don't forget to hit the like button, and while you're at it, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If there is something ridiculous you see floating around the internet that you think may or may not be complete BS, please leave it in the comments below and I will try my best to DIY the crap out of it. I'll see you in my next videos guys. Thanks for watching.